Greetings and welcome. My name is Jake Rayson. I'm a forest gardener and forest garden designer. I have had a really heavy head cold for the past 2 weeks, so I'm not my most mellifluous. So today I just wanted to do an ad hoc live stream, and I wanted to do like everyday stuff that I'm doing every day for forest gardening and creating a forest garden plan, and how I go about it, really, because I think there's a big gap between people thinking I could never possibly do that, that's far too scary and complicated, and actually you see somebody do it and then you realise, yeah, there's a learning curve, but the principles are pretty basic. You're moving stuff about the place. So this is a plan for some clients I have locally, and it's a second home holiday house, and they've wanted me to put in a hot tub and a barbecue, and its space is quite an interesting setup, really. I want to get wildflowers, essentially wildflowers and greenery in there onto the new, as a new patio area. And there's a forest garden at the back of the house too, but I'm concentrating on the patio at the moment. So this is more my traditional stuff up the top there. That's the forest garden, so I'll do that more often. But for the patio, I really want to use wildflowers, UK native wildflowers where possible. So I'm incorporating those into the design, and edibles as well, because there's a barbecue there, which I've created. It's a kind of horseshoe shaped, and the idea is that there's a bed which runs around the barbecue, and it provides a screen. It's going to be quite a nice structure. It's going to be made out of stone, but I want to actually soften that stone so it's not all hard surfaces. So there's some tall native grasses, and also some herbs as well. So there's a couple of beds here. Haven't really decided on what's going to go into the beds, but I think it's going to be it's going to have to be low moisture, because you don't want to keep on watering raised beds all the time. So it's going to be quite low maintenance plants. So the kind of herbs, more Mediterranean herbs. It's a southeast facing garden, so it's going to be Mediterranean herbs. And that's the kind of idea. So yeah, it's kind of fiddly using CAD, but I've done sketches as well. I haven't really got any sketches I can show you, unfortunately. Have I got any sketches? Let's have a quick look. Oh yeah, well, this isn't mine, but you can see here it's a bit slow. I'm using a service called Cloudinary, which is brilliant, really good. I upload low resolution images from my phone, so I'll take photographs of the space and upload things that I like, and then I can link to them. So this is the kind of thing you can do sketches, and then you can do full-blown CAD stuff as well. So that's it's really interesting. It's a really interesting job. It's a real kind of melding of wildflower native UK plants with Mediterranean herbs, so edible aspect to it. There's a forest garden at the back, and then there's an area beneath which is quite exciting, actually, because I'm putting quite a lot of foxgloves, native sedum, everlasting sweet pea, which is a native. So it's really, you can do an awful lot. There's a lot to play around with, and I always recommend. No, I don't always recommend. For doing native plant stuff, there's a Harrop's Wildflowers, which is really good. So it kind of extends your knowledge from purely ornamental into native, and obviously depends where you are in the world, but there's plenty of books about native plants in North America, and there's going to be resources around the place as well to find out about native plants wherever you are. Botanic gardens are actually brilliant. There's a whole network of botanic gardens across the world, and I think the work is generally, but this is a massive generalization, but I think an awful lot of the work of botanic gardens is shifting over towards native plants and the diversity of native plants. So anyway, what I wanted to show you was, this is my basic design. Oh, there's a brilliant, there's a brilliant website I've found as well. Oh, well, actually, there's a very nice gardener called Sam who put me onto them. Oh, what is it called? Millennia. Ah, here we go. Nope, Knoll Gardens. That was it. So Knoll Gardens, they do a range of grasses, sedges and grasses, kind of quite ornamental stuff. But they also have, which is absolutely brilliant, a native filter on their shop. So if you go to their plant finder, you can actually go, please select, not planting area, hold on, native to the UK, search ornamental grasses native to the UK. That's brilliant. So all plant nurseries out there, please do this. Have an ornamental filter, have a native filter on your plants, because people will go for it. So it's fantastic. So you've got a massively wide choice of native plants to use, which is great. So when I come to the planting plan, which I haven't done yet, but the detailed planting plan for that design, then this is what I'll be using. And one of them is Brisa. It's like quaking grass. I mean, you can't. Yeah, it's Brisa media is a native. Absolutely fantastic. So there's a load of there's a lot of joy to be had there. So what I'm going to do today is I keep all my notes online. I use a thing called Simple Note. This, it might be kind of useful for you. Simplenote.com. Okay. And then I publish the notes online. So it's it's kind of really, really interesting. And what the client wants, they've just seen the latest. This is the last version of the file, and they've seen the latest version, and they want the latest version of the CAD file so they can look at it on their computer and the PDF. So that's what I'm going to be doing, is to look at to get the latest version up there. So I'm going to talk through how to do that. So you've got your CAD plan, hours and hours and hours of work building this, but it's very useful for communicating to clients and builders, which is, if you're doing it yourself, pencil and paper is fine, and a graph paper. This is kind of more advanced, but then it's far more flexible in sharing. That's the idea behind it. And then I'm going to export it as a PDF. So print preview, and everything's a little bit slow because I'm streaming this as well, and I think it's 12. You can scale it down. That was wrong. No, not that. Oh dear, hold on. That's gone horribly wrong. 0.007. I got it wrong, hold on. There we go, right, and oops. Print preview. I might need a new laptop at some point, so if everyone can be a Patreon, I have a Patreon page now at patreon.com/Forest Garden Wales. I can afford a new laptop, and I can actually do live streaming without it clunking. Right. And this is a preview for the patio area. That'll do. That's fine. It's just a little bit smaller, so you can see it on the PDF, and that's like the A4 PDF bit. And then I'll save that off, which is exciting and slow. Go back, and I have an output. Do I have an output? Where are you? Oh no, hold on. Doobie output. And I'll just save it like that. Okay, that's good. Exit there. Okay, and then save that. Lovely. So now that's exported. If I go over to, I'll just take a screen grab as well. And this is you know, this is what I spend my days doing. My life is spent designing gardens. And oopsie, it's all a bit glitchy. It's all a bit glitchy. Yes, you want like that kind of proportion. You get the idea. So I'll take a screenshot of that as well. And then when I go around to I'll update this image here. And I'll upload the PDF and the CAD file, and then I'll link to them in the Simple Note file. So I'll show you that in a second as well. Okay. Output PDF. Open that one. And that's uploading, and there we go, and it's uploaded. So the PDF is uploaded, and the brilliant thing about Cloudinary is you can actually use that then as the basis of an image. So you can then link to it and then make an image out of it really, really easily. So it's pretty brilliant service. So I'll just show you what I'm doing here then. Let me just bring this over here. So I've got my Rig Home, and I'll scroll down, and you can probably see, I don't know if you can see this at all, latest CAD file, latest PDF patio, and then I'll pop that in there, comme ça, and then I ought to do the same thing for the other PDF as well. It's exciting, isn't it? Print preview. Isn't it just the most exciting thing you've ever seen? Note 7, I think. And then I'll shifty that across there. And then that's like the house, the patio, the side garden, and the forest garden all in one fell swoop. Save that off as a PDF. Plan. You get the idea. Output. I'll call it that, and then I'll just call it all at the end. There we go. So I just saved off a PDF from the CAD package, and I do it white, a white background because it uses up less ink. Whereas if you look at the actual CAD program, I have it dark because it's a lot easier to work with. You can see where the lines are. And it's so funny. I just didn't think I'd get into CAD at all, but it's a brilliant tool if you need to work quickly on plans. It's just like it's amazing. And QCAD is the name of the software that I use. You get a free version. It's absolutely amazing. There is a steep learning curve though. You know, it'll take you a while to get the hang of it. So if you do this a lot, like I do, then it makes sense. Okay, so go over here and then upload the other one. Browse and all. There we go. Upload that. Bing. There we have it. And there we go. That's that one up there. And I'll pop over to Simple Note. This is it is Simple Note, honestly. Maybe I can get you Simple Note up. That might make more sense. Hold on. And if you're sharing any notes with people and you want to publish just little bits of information on the web, Simple Note is fantastic. I've just got loads and loads of stuff. So all the things I do for clients, like I'll do a plan, I'll do sketches and schedules and list of plants. All of this goes onto a Simple Note document. I'll just show you it here. Hold on. I don't want you to see all the crap that I have. It is a bit slow. There we go. Okay, so this is Simple Note, and you can get it for your phone, and you can get it for Mac and for Windows. So it is brilliant. Let me just take the toggle full screen. View. Sort display line. Anyway, so go down here, and I've got the latest one is version 42. Paste that in. Cool. And the latest CAD file, I'll upload the latest CAD file too. And we'll get that in. So I'd be quite amazed if anyone actually watches this, but you know, what I love about it is that it's actually making something. It's a kind of, you know, you're creating something, you're trying out different ideas, and you really got to try stuff and experiment with stuff and make mistakes. Now, the only difference between a professional and an amateur is that a professional makes the mistakes an awful lot quicker and you don't see them. Whereas an amateur, you go, oh, you try this and you try it and it looks, and you go really slowly. Whereas you make your mistakes super quickly if you like using CAD, or you've got some ideas about something, and then you'll do them super quickly and then you'll get rid of them. So nobody notices that you've made them. And if you do make a mistake, this is a very handy hint I got from my brother who's a drummer. If you make a mistake, repeat the mistake, and then it becomes part of the plan. And people go, must have done it on purpose because it's been repeated. So so yes. So there we go. I've uploaded. So I've now got 3 files up here. I've got the CAD file, the PDF with the whole garden, and the PDF of the particular part of the garden. I click on the link, copy the URL, go to Simple Note, and then say latest CAD file. Bump, and it's in. And then the final thing that I'll do is to upload the image, the screen grab. So it actually looks better on the screen, it being dark. Like I said before, you can see the detail much more easily. So I'll go and grab the screen, do a screen grab. And which one is it? This one. Yeah, that'll do. That's good. And upload that one. And here it comes. So yeah, Cloudinary is pretty brilliant, I must say. And what I do, I use it on my phone. So I have an image. I shrink the images down. I resize the images on my phone, and then upload them straight from my phone via the web browser onto Cloudinary. And they're really low resolution. They're like 1280 pixels wide. 1280, 1240, 1280, 1280, 960. Yeah, so they're very low res images, so there's just bags of room. It's a free tier on Cloudinary, and I don't think I'm ever going to pay for any space on there, to be honest, which I feel bad about because it's such a good service. And then if I want a high res version, I'll go back to my hard disk, where I back up my photos, and go and get the photos from there. So here, I'm just going to, this is, you can rename stuff, so I'll call it CAD Rig, which is the name of the house, and it's version 42. And then it's patio. Bump, rename it. Click on the link. Copied. Go back to Simple Note. And what is amazing, absolutely amazing about Cloudinary as well, you paste the URL in, which is just, this is where the image is up on their server. And you can transform the image. I mean, I just use it for resizing. But you can transform it in 1,000 different ways. So you can resize it, rotate it, put filters on it, crop it according to faces. It's just absolutely amazing. So if you're ever into images and storing images online, totally recommend it. Here, I'm just going to put in W_400. And that just tells the server to make the image size 400 pixels wide. Really simple. So yeah, it's amazing, absolutely amazing. So there we go, that's that done. That should be there now. So if I go here, back to Rig, refresh the page, you notice that you should see the image change. I say that. Oh, it's a bit wide. I don't think it, I need to make it a bit smaller. But you see that? So yep, it works. It works absolutely fine. I'll make the image a bit smaller, and then it's going to have the latest CAD file version 42. There we go. Bloody brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So let me just go over and let me go over to Simple Note, and I'll just change that width 400. Isn't that funny? I don't know why it's done that. Oh, maybe it's because. Oh, I think it's because the changes haven't gone through. That's what it is. Yeah. It takes a little while sometimes. Yeah, there we go. It takes a little while for when you change it in Simple Note. It takes a little while to upload. So if you've got a file like this, I'll just show you in the information. You can publish it. So under the publish, oops, get rid of the info. You make it Markdown, which is how to format it, and then you publish it. And you say, there you go, public link, and it publishes the thing for you, which is brilliant for sharing files with clients. So now I'll go back. I'll use WhatsApp a lot because it's secure, and you can make groups on it. And then I'll talk to the clients, talk to the clients, and then I'll let them know that the notes have been updated, and then they can access the file straight away. So there we go. That's a little job that I've done. And then the other one that I wanted to do was to show you my design process. I mean, it's not really, is it design? Oh, I don't know. It's kind of like design. I've got a job for a friend of mine. It's only a little job. I'll just show you the file. He's over in Goedwig, and he's got a house on a hill, and he has a patch here that he wants to put some plants into. So it's a small area. So I've had some ideas about what to put there, which is actually very, very exciting. And I'm going to have to move some of these trees, and he's been clearing the space. But basically, it's going to be perennial. It's again a second house. They kind of live there part of the year and then rent it out the rest of the year. And it's going to have perennial vegetables. And he wanted a forest garden because he just wanted to have a low maintenance garden, basically. So the exciting thing is there's a holly hedge down here at the bottom, which he's putting in. There's a bit of a bank here. The house is quite steep, the land. And then I'm suggesting like a stone boulder path. And it's kind of make it up as you go along with a wildflower bank. It's full sun, free draining. And then do kind of selective weeding, basically. And then I'm going to get hold of some. I've got some seed for him. Oh, where is it? It's up there. Some wildflower seed, and sprinkle some of the wildflower seed on. See what grows. Take out the bramble. Take out the net. Well, the nettles wouldn't grow there. Take out the stuff you don't want, and let the stuff you do want grow there. So it'd be ideal for things like fennel. Oh, I'd love to try. I don't know how you pronounce it. Sea holly, Erigenium, which is a member of the pea family. It's very exciting. Anyway, so that's a little patch there. It's a kind of wild patch. And then I wanted to put a blackcurrant hedge along the top just to provide a bit of shelter. And then a wood chip path running up here. And because there's a stream that runs along the back, and you can see the bit that comes down the side here as well. It's very damp. So if you are doing any paths and it's damp, you need to have some sort of drainage. It's a good idea to put in some drainage. So what I've talked with my friend about is putting in some hardcore. So you dig down maybe a foot, put soil to one side, put some hardcore down, like rubble, stone rubble, or whatever, any old kind of crappy old rubble stuff that drains well, and then put wood chip on the top. So you have a layer of rubble, and then top it off with wood chip, and that way it won't go all mushy. It will have the water will drain away. So that's the plan. And then I really wanted to get in some vegetables. So I've got a list of vegetables here. There's kale, so a perennial kale. I'm thinking like Dorbenton's kale, good King Henry, a decent mallow. I can't remember which is. There's about half a dozen mallows. Malva, and I can't remember which one is supposed to be the best for eating, but like just one, I think, or two at the most, because they can be quite big plants, but you can use the leaves in stews, and you can use them in soups, and you can use them in salads as well. And an udo, which sounds great. And then I want to get a gooseberry in there, and there's a blackcurrant hedge, possibly jostaberry as well. And there's plum and apple trees. Ground cover on this side, on the west side of that's going to be more shady. So I would put in ground ivy, and I'm going to try and persuade them to put some wild garlic in there because it is kind of contained. And then down here, put in strawberry, I think, like a ground cover strawberry plant there because it likes a bit more sun. So that's kind of really exciting. So ground cover strawberry, big kale, that kind of stuff. So that's the idea for that bit. So the other thing I wanted to show you was a very handy tool to have is Pinterest. So if I find images I like, I'll use the stuff that I link to, and I use a lot of the things that I've kind of found and that I've referenced in the notes. I'll put those into Cloudinary, and then the other images I'll use Pinterest for. So I create a board for each of my clients, and then I say, what about this? And it's just really, really easy way of sharing ideas and images, and you can just kind of chuck a load of stuff in and go, oh, that's nice. That's a nice thing. So like here, I suggested a water bowl, and they're actually nice. They're this is one we've got here, and they're very nice thing to have actually. Can I link into it? Come on, image. They're a really, really nice thing to have. I haven't quite worked out how to. Oh, blimey! There we go. They're relatively cheap. This is a metal water bowl, relatively cheap, and they provide a really nice focal point, and they're good for wildlife. Things don't climb into them so much because they're they get a lot of birds in them, but not like hedgehogs or anything because they can't get in. But they're just like provide a real focal point, and they're kind of very nice feature. So I was talking to my friend about here. I think it would be nice to have, rather than just plants, I said it'd be nice to have something kind of around about this point, something quite central, something like a focal point for it. So you could go past there anyway, and just had this. I said, what about a water bowl? He goes, I can't afford that. I'm not spending money on a water bowl. So I said, there is a couple of options. Another thing that you can do, like a cheap way of doing it, is deadwood. Now, there's a gardener called John Little who's in Essex and does a lot of work. I really like his stuff, and he does a lot of work. And this is one of his things that he does is standing deadwood, which is basically it's an old dead tree, and you put it in the ground, and it becomes a feature. It becomes a focal point, and it's brilliant for a range of different of different invertebrates, wood lice and beetles and all sorts of stuff. And then you get a lot of wildlife is attracted to that as well. So that I think it's beautiful actually having an old bit of wood as a focal point, and then you changes your attitude towards it. So the next thing that I wanted to do, I don't think he was very keen on that idea. So another idea was, and again, hats off to John Little for this. Is a pile of stones. Now I did see a chap called Malcolm Berry. He's a really nice guy actually. The dreaded gardener. He was head gardener at Aberglasney Gardens in Wales. And he gave a brilliant talk about wildlife gardening, and I just wrote down all his ideas on how to do wildlife features. And another great wildlife feature, a pile of logs. Oh no, this is just, what are you doing? A pile of logs is a great idea. And, I don't know, It's not going to find it. And a pile of stones is another fantastic idea as well. Go, 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 Pinterest. So a pile of stones is, this is Andy. It's not quite what I wanted actually. This is much more sculptural and much more artistique. But it was the best thing I could find to show him. So with the hardcore, what I would do is to create an area, like a circle, around, have a path, and then have either in the centre of the path or just to one side, and then create an area which has got hardcore on it, and then put some gravel, some kind of big gravel. So you have like a circle, and then hardcore underneath, a layer of gravel, and then a layer of sand, like a big mound of sand, like coarse sand, and have that all the way around. So it's kind of sitting on top of the gravel, and then that's sitting on top of the hardcore, and then build a pile of stones about a meter and a half. They're next to the sea as well, so this is kind of fantastic way of kind of incorporating found stones and things. I'm just building a cairn, a pile of stones, and that's really good habitat for wildlife too. So I think that's what we're going to go with, and then that will go on here, around about here somewhere. So there we go. That's I hope that's mildly interesting, and I didn't record any of that. I have a regular live stream on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. British Summer Time, which is going to be changing to Greenwich Mean Time soon, or Universal Time Coordinate, UTC. That's Wednesdays at 10 o'clock. And I have a Patreon page, patreon.com/Forest Garden Wales, and I have a YouTube page where I'll probably put this video, and I have a course as well at udemy.com/The Backyard Forest. There we go. So thank you very much for watching, if indeed you were watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.